This section will be about how to generate prime numbers using various algorithms. In this video, we will learn some basics and history about prime numbers. Firstly, we will give some background and history about prime numbers. Secondly, we will explore some use cases where prime numbers are useful in computer science. We will then finish off walking through an example of how we can generate prime numbers. The earliest records of theorems about prime numbers come from ancient Greece, around 300 BC. Eratosthenes, a Greek mathematician around this area, did a lot of discoveries. Amongst many things, he calculated the circumference of Earth and invented the leap day. However, in computer science, he's known for coming up with a technique to generate prime numbers, known as the sieve of Eratosthenes. Prime numbers is a very active area of study in mathematics, and many questions still remain open today. For example, despite extensive research, we still don't have a simple formula for producing the nth prime. Prime numbers in computer science have many uses. The list of use cases is extensive. Probably the most commonly known use of prime numbers is its use in cryptography. Public-private key encryption has two keys, one public, one private. The public key is used to encrypt messages, while the private one is used for decrypting. The private key consists of two prime numbers, while the public key contains the product of the same two prime numbers. The technique relies on the fact that prime factorization on the public key would be impractical. This makes the private key very hard to crack, while enabling the safe sharing of the public key. Prime numbers are also typically used in hashing functions to reduce collisions. That is, reducing the number of times two values hash to the same number. Some random number generators also use prime numbers to produce uniform distributions. Another application for prime numbers is in error correcting codes. These are widely used in mass storage media and data transmissions. So how do we go about generating some prime numbers? Let's say you only had pen and paper and you want to generate all prime numbers up to a certain constant. How would you go about it? Eratosthenes, some 2,300 years ago, came up with a technique that is still a very popular way to generate primes today. For this example, we will show how to generate all prime numbers up to 50. First thing you need to do is write all numbers from 2 up to 50. Then you pick each number sequentially and cross out all multiples of the picked number. So when you pick 2, you cross out 4 and 6, 8, and so on, until you run out of numbers. Next, you pick 3, and you cross out the multiples of 3. 6 is already crossed out, so you cross out 9 and 15, and so on until you run out of numbers again. Since 4 is already crossed out, you skip it, and choose 5 instead. Just like before, we need to mark the multiples of 5. So in this case, the only two other numbers that are not crossed out are 25 and 35. 7 is next, and the only multiple left unmarked is number 49, so we cross that out. The multiples of 11, 13, 17, and 19 have all been marked already. Basically, you keep going through this process until you reach your upper limit. The numbers left unmarked are your prime numbers. There you go. Next time someone asks you for a list of prime numbers, you know what to do. In this video, we gave an introduction to prime numbers. We mentioned what they are and their application. Finally, we showed how to generate prime numbers manually.